Hello everyone and welcome back. This time we have Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. Is it twin or two? It says on the cover 2 Blue Vortex. I thought it was twin Blue Vortex, whatever. Anyway, chapter 19, Konohamaru-chan. We open up with a cover image. I love it when Boruto has a cover image. This time we have Moegi, full colour, looking fantastic. So let's dive on in. So first off, we're not carrying on where we left off. We're going straight into a backstory. What's the word for this? Flashback, whatever, of Araya and what's his name? Araya and Shinki, and how. Everyone. Araya, Shinki, there's also Yodo, and Kankuro. Fuck, what am I doing? Anyway, it's all flashback with them, and it's the story of how he learned to do the black sealing blade thingy-mabobbity. But page 1, we get the reveal of how this all works, and Shinki essentially infused his chakra into Araya's sword, thus giving him the ability to dispel/pull the iron sand towards it. So that's kind of cool. Quickly gets the explanation out of the way and leaves no room for ambiguity. Page 2, they have a bit of back and forth about Araya being worried or giving the edge in combat between, sparring combat between the two of them. But Shinki likes the whole, he thinks it'll just even it up. But I don't get it, because he says that this is to all the benefit of protecting Gaara, and apparently that's all he goes on about. But how does this exactly protect Gaara? So it gives him the ability to dispel black sand and possibly normal sand as well. But it's like, what benefit does that serve? It seems like they've given this kind of roundabout reason to give him this iron sand dispelling ability, just so to explain why he has it for this Ryu fight. But the reason doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Page 3 is actually an interesting dynamic and maybe a bit of a love triangle there, because Araya tells Shinki to pay more attention to Yodo, but then Shinki says that all he does is talk about Yodo himself. So it implies this sort of Naruto Sasuke Sakura relationship we saw in original Naruto, where I guess Araya has a crush on Yodo, but Yodo has a crush on Shinki, and Shinki is the Sasuke and doesn't really care. So maybe that's their dynamic. Who knows? But anyway, page 4, we jump back to the present, and it's fight time. And we see Araya use his iron sand dispelling sword on Mitsuki, and that's to free him of the iron sand's influence. This fact is made clear on page 5, and it's very clear then that Araya is basically carrying this fight. Without him, they are, and his black iron sand sealing sword, they are screwed. So page 6, they put together their quick little plan. Mitsuki and Sarada will go on the offensive, and, well, they are quite offensive powerhouses, so it makes sense, while Araya will stay on hand to seal the iron sand, and while they don't mention Yodo is going to stand in the back and be the sensory. She's got great sensory abilities. She will detect Ryu for them, especially considering he can... No, wait, hang on. I was about to reveal that. They reveal it later in the chapter, so I'll cover that when we get to it. So next page, and Ryu is now getting pumped up. He disperses a lot of iron sand, but of course, Araya instantly reacts, and then next page just dispels the iron sand like it's nothing. Again, absolutely carrying this fight. And as I said, even though they don't mention it, on the next page we see what Yodo's role is. So she is the sensory member of the party. They've got a good balanced party. 2 offensive units in Sarada and Mitsuki, 1 support type in Araya, and a sensory 1 in Yodo. But she senses the massive amount of iron sand that's coming from beneath the sand, and next page, Yodo, I keep saying Yodo. Araya easily dispels it. And, well, we see Sarada start to weave some hand signs. So, classic Uchiha Gambit. She uses the Fireball Jutsu, which Shinki Ryu easily blocks. But then we see, I don't know if it was an intentional distraction or Mitsuki's taken advantage of Ryu putting his focus on defending against Sarada, and he manages to restrain Ryu with his Sage Snakes. Great tactic. Let's see how Ryu responds. This next page seemingly just to show off Sage Mitsuki because he's looking amazing. Sage mode. Snake Sage mode actually looks really amazing. I love it. So there's Mitsuki rocking the Sage mode. That's it, I guess. But next page, we do find out how Ryu deals with the snakes. He apparently can just dispel himself into iron sand. And so, therefore, he can't really be restrained that easily. If you make yourself into little molecules of iron sand, how do you restrain someone like that? So Yodo mistakenly thinks that Mitsuki has dealt with Ryu, who then has to correct her and say, no, he escaped by dissolving... What did he say? Disintegrating? Yeah, he disintegrated himself and evaded my attack. So, confirming he disintegrated himself into iron sand, and that they should be careful because the iron sand could control them again. So, interestingly here, I say interesting, because Yodo tells them where she's detecting Ryu's presence again. But you notice how she says, I think that's where it is. So, you see that Araya goes to use the sealing technique again, but you never see Ryu materialize here. And that's because this time, Araya was not dispelling the iron sand, but collecting it onto his blade itself, which completely catches Ryu off guard, leaving Mitsuki free to attack him. And seemingly, by Ryu's reaction here, these snake bites have landed a heavy blow on him. So the fight could well be going in their favor. Sarada even gets in on the action and lands a devastating Chidori. So it looks like Ryu's in some serious bother. However, Ryu disperses again. The Chidori was not a deep enough blow, and he's escaped their view for now. But it looks like they've got a winning strategy. So they are definitely on the advantage. But now we get to see what Moegi and Konohamaru are up to. And look at bloomin' Moegi? I call him Moegi. Matsuri. Look how furious Matsuri is. Just because she can't call him... He's not allowing her to call him Konohamaru-chan. And, you know, she's got her little scarf thing wrapped around his neck still. But yeah, this is a subject of consent, Matsuri, you know. He has to consent to you calling him Konohamaru-chan. But the argument continues on the next page as well. And honestly, Konohamaru's a bloody bum. What is his deal? He just had to go in, play pretend, make friends with Matsuri, and he failed at the first hurdle just because he only likes Moegi calling him Konohamaru-chan. He's fumbled so hard. I hope he's got something building, because so far he is just a bum. He's wasted. But now we see that what's her name? Ida is watching the whole fights as they go down, and she seems to understand the breakdown in communication between Konohamaru and Matsuri, in that it's not the fact that she can't call him Konohamaru-chan, it's just they don't have a relationship that allows such a thing to occur. Fair enough. And it's also clear in the next page that obviously she's relaying this all to Boruto and Koji. We all know they're working together. But upon revealing that it looks like Konohamaru is going to be devoured... well, they don't say that yet. I'm jumping ahead. Oh no, she said it right at the start. I didn't jump ahead. But yeah, so Team Ryu isn't in a position to help Konohamaru, and he's in a real bind. And Boruto wants to jump into action, and of course, Koji is insisting that he can't go. So, I don't know if this is going to come to a conflict or come to a head, but I want to see Boruto do something. I know he has to hold back, but come on. Boruto's been the most exciting bit about TBV, I swear. And now we get to change scenes yet again, and now we're seeing what the other Shinju are up to. And we've got Jura being all philosophical, that he believes every life form should strive towards their instincts, and apparently humans don't. They've dulled their own instincts and therefore stunted their own evolution. Interesting to know. I wonder if that might get delved upon. So Mamushi kind of plays off this whole dulling of instincts as an issue for humans alone and not for the divine tree people, or Shinju. But Jura instantly retorts that there is one emotion that could cause them problems, and we've already seen it with Matsuri, and that's love. And if it's like it's just on cue, we jump back to Matsuri and Konohamaru, where she's still being driven furious by the thoughts of love and all that, and how she constantly thinks of Konohamaru and she doesn't understand it. Konohamaru, of course, tries to calm her down, but Matsuri has kind of come to the conclusion that if she devours Konohamaru, maybe she won't have these weird feelings driving her insane anymore. So Konohamaru's in a bit of a pickle. But we, before we end the page, we get to jump back to Jura, pondering about the supposed foolishness of the decision Ino Shikacho made, in that they prioritized Himawari's safety over their own. I guess that makes sense. They're better as a team, but they wouldn't let Himawari be sacrificed or whatever, so it makes sense in that regard too. So it's kind of like these Shinju are kind of learning human emotions. So it'll be interesting to see what the end result of that is, whether it's a good thing or it's a bad thing. I'd love to see them coexist, but I don't think it's possible. I think of like the demons in Frieren, can't coexist with humans because they just by nature want to devour them. It's similar with the Shinju. They're less evil, I'd say, but their nature is to devour humans. So is coexistence even possible? So we carry on to the next page. They're still discussing this love thing. You've got Hidari wondering if it's a disease. And it's interesting here that Jura doesn't realize that Inojin was actually saved. So he thinks Inojin has died. So I don't know if that will play a part. Probably not. It's probably not. It's probably just a misunderstanding. I don't think they put too much interest in the Ino Shikacho, so it's just a passing comment, I think. It's interesting that the conversation of love continues on to the next page, and you just get a quick snapshot of Matsuri and Konohamaru, and Jura saying that they must come to understand love and overcome it. Which, obviously, Matsuri is the best example, because she's not acting herself or rationally at the moment, because of this fundamental misunderstanding. But we jump back to the team fighting Ryu, and they're still doing the same strategy. Yodo senses them, Araya seals the sand, Mitsuki and Sarada attack. So that continues on. But now we see in the next page that Ryu seems to have some sort of counter to this strategy of theirs. And in the last panel of this page, we see that he pulls out some white globs. I wasn't sure what they were at first, but it all becomes clear in the next page. He has summoned claw grimes, and many of them. When I was first reading this, I wasn't sure if this was like a distraction technique, overwhelming with numbers, but claw grimes are now in the fight. So Mitsuki attacks with his sage snakes again, and cool, I love seeing Sarada using stereotypical Uchiha techniques, and this time she's using the Phoenix Flower Jutsu. So, Cool. I mean, it would be nice to see her use some Mangekyo abilities, but we don't get everything we want. Unfortunately for the team, Ryu keeps summoning more and more and more and more claw grimes, and they start getting overwhelmed. And as we see in the final panel of this page, one of them goes for a bite. And we know what happens when they get their bite on. This one successfully grabs onto Yodo, who is, well, I won't call her a bum. Her sensory technique has been very useful in this fight, but grabs onto Yodo and bites her. So, is it too late? Is she gonna get consumed? Araya quickly responds and plunges his blade deep into the claw grime, hopefully averting that fate. It turns out to have been an elaborate plot by Ryu. Maybe he sensed Araya's feelings for Yodo, I don't know, but the blade gets stuck in the claw grime. Ryu quickly pounces, grabs the claw grime, and pulls him away, which includes pulling Araya's blade away. And as Ryu points out here, that without the blade, they can no longer defend against his iron sand, so the tide has turned once again, and it seems Ryu has the advantage in this fight. But we don't end on that. We end on Matsuri and Konohamaru, where the scarf thing is ever enclosing on Konohamaru. It seems he is about to be devoured by Matsuri, and the chapter ends. All in all, great chapter, loved it, lot of action, lot of intrigue, lot of development. Both teams are in a bind and Boruto wants to jump into the action, and I just hate these month waits until the next chapter. It'll be exciting to see what happens. I hope Konohamaru does something, because he is so wasted in Two Blue Vortex. I just want him to do something. Put up resistance against Matsuri, please. He is meant... I would call him a Hokage candidate. He should be at that level, but he's just a bum. He doesn't do anything. Please do something with him. But I still enjoyed the chapter, so I will see you in the next one. I hope you enjoyed it too. But until then, goodbye for now. Thanks for watching.